Joy 99.7 FM.
Another Monday, another week begins here on your superstation Joy 99.7 FM. Hello and welcome to the Joy Sports Track. And today what we will be tracking is news that is not too savory. As you may have heard on our previous bulletins, particularly the afternoon news with Ridwan Ibrahim Asante and also with George Adu Jr. earlier this morning on the Joy Sports Center. The trending story since yesterday has been the assault case of a female ref. Now, Theresa Bremen-Sue was beaten up by a prisons officer after their club, that's the prisons ladies team, lost 1-0 to the visiting side, Ampem Dakwa ladies in Sunyani. And that was in the first leg semi-final of the women's special competition, which is ongoing. It's been all over the news. The pictures have been trending because thankfully there was a photographer on duty who captured the scene, and it was like a movie. And it made the ref's own quotes even more poignant because it gave us visual representation of what happened in the Brong Ahafo region. Now, that's what we'll be looking at. We'll be looking at their reaction because just before we came in, about 10 minutes before we came in, the Normalization Committee issued a statement about what happened. We'll be going through that and getting some more ideas about what to do next. The barbaric act has been condemned by many, including veteran coach J.E. Sapong, and that's where we begin the show today.
Yeah, very barbaric. Uncalled for in the culture of the Ghanaian. Even beating up a woman, even beating up your own wife, it's abomination. Then to go and beat up somebody because of football, because of entertainment, somebody's wife. You don't do that. You see. So I feel there should be some stringent measures, to curb this menace. Either somebody should be arrested and prosecuted immediately without even an option of a fine to deter others from doing this, because it's been made today, tomorrow who next? Because others have made some pronouncements along the line which didn't go well with the public, but till date nobody has said anything about it, nobody has seen any action about it, and it goes on and on and on. It's about time we stopped all these barbaric acts in our game so that we step forward. We are normalizing our game, so why don't you normalize everything? So it's about time we took action, that's action against people who go to the stadia to go and cause mayhem. Understand? So they should be arrested and then prosecuted.
Would you suggest that the referees committee probably maybe boycott matches?
Boycott is not in any book. Boycott, somebody will go and do it again. It's about prosecution. It's about taking some measures to deter others from attacking referees. It's as simple as that. It's as simple. It's not like boycotting anything. No. If you boycott, it means you are sending the clock back. So we are moving forward. It's just simple as that. Prosecute without an option of a fine. Put democracy aside. This is somebody's democracy. This one is football. And we can't follow this type of thing that is being paraded in other countries we are a peaceful country.
And coach, this must be very, very worrying. I mean, in this point that we are normalizing things in our football.
That's what I said. That the normalization committee must take a look at this house, and they should come out with very strong pronouncement. The message should be sent across to everybody. So I feel, like I'm saying, that those people who perpetrated this act must be brought to book straight away. And unfortunately they are prison officers. Why should you do that? A law enforcer, you take the laws into your own hands? No. It should go straight to, it should be put in cells straight away.
Put himself straight away, we'll see. But, we live in a democracy, and rule of law is what reigns in Ghana. We'll see how that goes. However, more comments were added fuel to the discussion. Here is Eko Asma.
Yeah, there's nothing short of. It's nothing short of that. It's very barbaric, very crude. It's ironic that security. Look at the venue. It was played at the barracks. The fact that it didn't even have inner perimeter is problematic, and you would expect that the normalization committee would actually live up to its word as enforcing the club licensing regulations, which requires that certain venues have certain basic infrastructure and to safeguard lives, to ensure fair play, to protect the match officials and all that, so that the game will be cleaner and encourage more patrons of the game to go to the stadia. And we've had problems with spectatoring, and so you would think that in an era of reforming the game, that will go a little more drastic, more radical, because if it's going to be the same, then we might as well not have even gone down this path. I know that if you want something you've never got, you got to do something you've never done. And this is a period, this is not the usual time. So the normalization committee must go radical, and they will have the support of the majority of Ghanaians, spearheaded by the media. We are behind them, but there cannot be these lapses. They cannot continue to not act on them. And then they will be also complicit, because if they're not going to act and they will encourage more hooligans to go on and attack the match officials. I expect that the Referees Association of Ghana would issue a statement and threaten to boycott the rest of the matches if the normalization committee does not act today, not tomorrow, today. There have been instances, it's been coming. 2 matches ago, the Aduana coach, Coach Tando, made statements that would put the game into disrepute. Normalization committee did nothing about it. Subsequent to that, a contingent of Kotoko to the Mediama team threatening to shoot the referee in the event that he came to Kumasi. That also has that was even worse than the previous incident. Normalization committee has done nothing about it, shockingly. And then this incident. So at the third try, Ghanaians, the public, deserve better than what the normalization committee is doing. We know they're trying to enforce the regulations as best they could, but this should be the last straw.
Okay.
We need a statement, we need an action statement today. And actually, I would expect that all officials found culpable in this dastardly, beastly, barbaric act of beating up a female referee, any referee period, much so a female, that any officials found in them who belong, especially who are members of the Ghana Prison Service, should be asked to proceed on leave pending further action, because it should never be tolerated at all. We should build a society based on rule of law. So that's my initial comment.
Yes, you've talked about what the normalization committee must do, release a statement, a very strong worded statement to condemn everything that happened. I mean, yeah, we know definitely we'll go through the legalities and all, but per where you sit, what are some of the sanctions you prescribe we give these people, those involved in this barbaric act?
To begin with, the Ghana Prison Service, as I stated earlier, would do the public a world of good and themselves, their image, a world of good. And I'm saying this with knowledge that the only Hall of Famer we have in Ghana, Samuel Azuma Nelson, was a prison service official. And then I remember the former president of GOC, BT Baba, prison service. So I have a lot of respect for the prison service. That's why I'm shocked that this would rather be perpetrated by prison service. The prison team They played on their home turf, and they beat up a referee, a woman at that, attacked by men, while everybody is looking on and actually hoping that they will go scot-free. Now, this should never happen. Any and every official involved, to begin with, the Ghana Prison Service must act on it, and then the state must also be interested in the prosecution eventually of all culprits involved, to set an example that it will never be tolerated in Ghana. Never at all, especially during this time while we're transitioning from the previous regime to a new era that would actually now try to even wean off some of the, the youth are more into the entertainment industry than the football. Trying to wean off some of that fan base from the entertainment industry to football side. Now, this is not going to encourage the youth to even want to go and patronize games if they're not going to be safe. If even the referee is going to be beaten this way with purported statements of, oh, we wish you had been killed and all that, and if they're not going to be investigated, then we are turning this jurisdiction into the jungle. And really, it's not a very good look. This will not help the normalization committee. So I think the ministry, the sports ministry too, may have to come in. I will be making some calls to the sports ministry and asking of what actions they will take. It should be all hands on deck. The media, normalization committee, sports ministry, the law authorities and all that. Because this is a moment, it's like a watershed moment. We cannot miss this opportunity to strike a blow for dignity of work and rule of law. So we should never miss this opportunity. However bad it is, it's still an opportunity to strike a blow against lawlessness. And we must never miss this opportunity. Nobody should be sleeping on the wheel. And especially the media must be at the forefront and forcing the hand of folks that don't want to act, to actually act on it and clean up the image of the game. Because really, this is not going to encourage more people to patronize the games. And we need all hands on deck. We need, even now more than ever, football needs more than ever patronage of the game, especially from the youth. If you go to an average game, if you check the demographics, the average age at most of the games is about 30. Yeah. The football game has even lost the fan base. I remember when I was young, but from age 9, I used to go to football matches constantly. Now, between ages 9 and probably 25, you won't see them at the stadium. And this is what the football folks, especially all the football community, should be thinking about, winning back that lost ground. And we cannot do that by, glossing over, compromising on security of officials. And I want to say something quickly about the match officials themselves. I think they erred by even officiating the match. Because, number one, there's no inner perimeter at that venue. And that should have been a red flag to the match officials. Okay. Henceforth, no match official should ever officiate any game at a venue where it's obvious there are there could be security breaches and there are security red flags. Okay. No inner perimeter, no match officiating. The normalization committee, I hope, will learn a great lesson from this and instruct all match commissioners and all referees and the RAG to instruct all of its members to not officiate at any venue without any basic safety safeguards.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Kwasma speaking there. Meanwhile, the Normalization Committee have indeed issued a statement, and I'll go through it pretty quickly on the Joy Sports track. The GFA Normalization Committee has learned with dismay the shameless attack on referee Theresa Bremensu during the first leg semi-final match of the women's special competition between Prison Ladies and Ampem Dakwa Ladies in Sunyane at the weekend. While expressing our commiseration to referee Bremensu, the NC would like to state that it does not condone any abuse, verbal or physical, towards match officials and takes such attacks very seriously. Albeit, the special competition has not recorded any such appalling attacks, last weekend's incident is of great bother. The NC would like to state that such acts of violence on referees are a drawback as we strive to normalize Ghana football. The NC reiterates Dr. Kofi Amoah's caution at the launch of the special competition that improvements in the GFA statutes and regulations, as much as they are necessary, would not in and by themselves absolve our football from illegalities, corruption, and uncivilized behaviors and undue aggression. part of our nation's ability to engender transformation in our football doesn't have to do with regulation. It has to do with shaping attitudes, shaping cultures, increasing awareness, and embracing our common humanity and purpose. Attacking a referee physically must be condemned by all and exorcised from all parts of our football. We would like to assure the general public that we will liaise with the police to ensure appropriate sanction is meted out to the perpetrator or perpetrators. Meanwhile, Normalization Committee, in accordance with the GFA statutes, will refer the matter to the disciplinary committee of the GFA. We would like to appeal to the football community to help safeguard the beautiful game. And it's signed by Dan Kweku Yeboah, spokesperson of the committee as well. Last week, it's very interesting. This has fallen on the laps of the discussion we were having last week that we didn't even finish. Jerome Otre was the man who was issuing the punches at the time, and he couldn't finish. And Jerome, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for the opportunity, Gary.
Well, last week we were just giving our opinions about how we should manage some of these things. And just as a reminder for listeners, the Aduana Stars coach, after what he thought was some very, very unfair officiating in the game against Asante Kotoko, felt that, things didn't go their way and said that if it happens again, things will be suicidal. And you were having a go at him and the authorities for not doing anything about it. It's been barely a week, and here we are again, Jerome.
Absolutely. And, Gary, you and I have followed.
Hello, Jerome?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you shift slightly and then go ahead? Yes.
For some time.
Okay.
And you and I also know that this week I said that Coach Tando gave just what was to come. And regardless of how...
Okay. We are having a bit of a challenge. We'll try and call him again for him to probably move his position. But George Addo Jr. is in studio with me as well. We've read a statement. We've heard from Jay Sapon. We've heard from Eko Asma. We also have another reaction from Isaac Opele, the coach as well, who gives us his perspective on the matter as we try and raise Jerome again.
After the announced expose, we were expecting the referees to change, but they've not changed. They are still the same. And the fans also have that thought on their minds, so I wasn't surprised. And so, though it was barbaric, the action was bad, somehow the referees usually invite such beatings, but being human and everything, I'll call for the prison's head to come in and maybe bring those people to book. I'll not call for interdiction because it's their work, but they have to investigate and find out why it happened like that, so that if they were wrong in some way, they should punish them. But it also tells you that the normalization should take steps towards this. What was the security about? The safety and security committee of the association, is it there? Who are the people in charge of it? We have to look at all those things. Maybe we've forgotten about that. That's why I keep saying that we need about 2 years for everything to normalize. If not, these things will continue to happen.
So it means we are not ready to play football in this country?
Oh yeah, we are not ready. People were saying we should play, and these are some of the examples that we still have fundamental problems to solve. And that is the safety and even the integrity of the referees. I don't want to judge, because maybe Bremen Su made certain mistakes and certain decisions went so wrong that we all do not know. That's why I'm saying that the prison's head should investigate, maybe alongside the normalization committee, before they can draw a conclusion that those people should be punished. Apart from that, we cannot jump into any conclusion.
But the act wasn't good.
The act wasn't good, but I've faced porous referee decisions, and sometimes you wish such things have happened. So to me, I want us to take our time for everything to be judged well before we can conclude.
Coach Opele speaking there. George Addo is in studio with me. George?
Yeah, this is interesting, but I think that we cannot in any way try to shield or save what the fans did is totally out of place. No amount of frustration or disappointment should send you down to want to hit a referee. So we have to condemn it. That's the first point. That the fans who are doing this really need to think again. And it's been happening over and over again. The problem is we are just not making scapegoats out of anyone. There has to be an example of a fan being arrested and, of course, the right penalties being applied. We don't see that happen ever when these things come up. And that's why they get the opportunity to do it. Sometimes it's very interesting because the clubs where these things happen, the administrators even know those who are culpable, but they will never come out bringing them in. So it's very, very difficult. Once you cannot punish them, and these fans who go out of their way to do things that are definitely unlawful are covered by the clubs, it's very, very difficult. But I think at the base of all of this really is a security matter. Nowhere in the world, except a few places like Africa and in Ghana, really, where you have the opportunity to have access to the referee. You should not have access to the referee. You don't meet a referee when you go out there to watch any football game, no matter what. All you have to do, you see the referee on the pitch. You don't meet a referee anywhere.
So Ekwasma was right that the referee should not even go there if there's no inner perimeter.
Precisely. I think we expose our referees to too much.
Yeah.
Have a look at the pictures again.
Yeah.
And look at where the game was taking place.
Thankfully, the pictures are available. You can see them on my joyonline.com.
Yes. Look at the picture. Gary.
George, it's Sakura Park. Let's just put
Sakura Park. So someone can even fire from anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a dangerous field. And I understand. Look, the topic about referees doing things that make you angry or not getting the game where it's supposed to be or the competence, we have to hold on that. We have to deal with the fan madness.
Yeah.
And as we know, we can't always control the behavior of fans.
Yeah.
So the next step is security. We don't have the stadia that we see elsewhere in Dortmund and in the UK. So then we need to provide more security personnel to make sure that the referees are safe.
Nice one. Very interesting indeed. So we are trying to get a holistic view, try to make it as balanced as possible.
Yeah.
And at the moment, we've all spoken to, we've heard from the ref herself.
We have the ref herself.
She said she was beaten like an armed robber and all that. However, we would like now to speak to the public relations officer of the Ghana Prison Service.
Excellent.
Mr. Vitalis.
Yes.
Thank you very, very much for joining us on such short notice. The name is Vitalis Aye, right?
Yeah.
Aye. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your time. First of all, has it come to your notice what we are discussing, the issue of the assault on the referee?
Frankly, good afternoon to your cherished listeners. I saw it on social media, precisely my Joy Online.
Okay.
That's the first time I heard about the assault on a referee by a prisons officer. Of course, I know these games are ongoing and it's far away in Sunyani.
Yes.
So when I saw it, I decided to cross-check. I went to the sports office and then procedurally they are waiting for an update from Sunyani. We have a coach in Sunyani who should be responsible for what has happened. So I've heard it, but that is through social media. Officially, not yet.
Okay, all right. So at least you have heard it, and we know you are on the beat. So we will kindly ask that if you have any updates, we'll be checking up with you.
Why not? Whereas we are a disciplined institution, and if anything like that has happened, I promise that appropriate action will be taken. And if it is found to be true that an officer of ours was involved in such a thing, why not? Sanctions will be applied, and you will get to hear about it in the public domain.
Okay, what appropriate sanctions are you talking about? What kind of sanctions do you usually have for such things?
The service is regulated. We have sanctions depending on the level of it. If, for example, this is in the area of sports,
yes,
but in line of duty, if you misconduct yourself as an officer, the sanctions apply from caution right to dismissal and even to imprisonment, depending on the weight of it. So I can't tell you what will be applied for now.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. And I mean, we'll do our duty. We will forward you the photos of the incident that we have as well to aid your investigations also.
Thank you very much.
Right. So that's the PR of the Ghana Prison Service speaking there, Mr. Vitalis Aye, speaking to us. Jerome Autry is also on the line. George Addo Jr. is here. Jerome, thank you very much. Hopefully your line is better.
Yes, I hope so.
Yes, so you've heard from the official side of things as well. Your thoughts, please continue.
Gary, I am not surprised at any of the things that have been said. Last week, Monday, I told you that Coach Tando gave the signal. He told us what was to happen if we don't act. And I'm saying that we haven't acted. I heard you read the statement from the NC. And I'll tell you this. That statement is coming too late in the day. We should have had that statement last week, Monday, telling Coach Ando that you cannot speak the way you spoke. And these are the sanctions awaiting you. Come and explain to us why you shouldn't be punished. I'm saying that what the coach said had the tendency of influencing fans to misbehave. And that is what we have seen. Even though you would say that was a special cup, this one is a women's competition. Yes, they are all domestic football in Ghana. And I will again state that the NC is supposed to restore sanity in Ghana football. And if we are going to see the kind of things that we saw in the previous administration, then it is clear that we will not make any progress. I have heard people say that this is a security matter, we should involve the police. Yes, but the police don't manage football in Ghana. It is the NC that currently has the mandate to manage football. And I'm saying that their reaction so far in the last 7 days have clearly given the indication that they are asleep. And see, it is very clear. On match day 1, yes, there were incidents in the Kotoko game. On match day 2, similar thing happened at Takwa. And maybe because Kotoko fans went home quiet, we didn't hear anything. But the referee in that game made some calls that were bad. Had fans reacted, I would tell you that security there would have been something else. All that I'm trying to say is that we haven't done the things that we have to do, first, to ensure the security of referees, and secondly, to punish anyone who misbehaves, whether he's a club official, he's a spectator, or whatever. The kind of thing we have now is just a matter of having a hunger for football, and so let's go and play. I do not think that we have fixed the system that will check that referees are better protected, and then if anyone goes onto the field to, for instance, attack a referee, that person will be arrested and punished the way he should.
Yeah. Point well made, Jerome. Many thanks for it. Before you are getting a bit passionate about it, and we don't want you to.
Because you see, these are the things that we have done, and these are the things that we have spoken over time.
Yeah.
We are not making any progress. Are we going to wait for a referee to be killed before we get to understand that referees are not safe in our football? Just before, number 12 was shown, you know what happened to a referee at Elmina. He was stoned. And people were debating that. We still do not know who stoned that referee. Had that referee died, we'll come back, read sermons, we'll say all manner of things to that referee, and that will be the end. I'm just saying that we have not taken hooliganism serious, and it is going to affect our game if we do not act immediately.
Jerome Autry, many thanks for your time. Let's keep the discussion going. Now, let's hear from the ref herself what she had to say after the incident. This is what she said happened.
Father Wilson, Hannah, guy be a top black. Or the can of bay, not baby bomb. Let me say, mind then, no behavior, the man. And I know bomb, no bomb, me would have me life in danger. And to me, to get a pen, and I'm the pen with the one afternoon. We saw them now, prison species in Caribbean. And I died was a blue and white. Mom slap or bomb and cassa. And I'm going to say, if someone species someone to put a wood jam, then more basic. It was one species who won about a guy that was so personal away and Yama off Pata. And when after match, new sort of a new sort, that guy be a woman Zua. A woman Zua, I get to when I get a body Yemen Posa, who couldn't panko ye.
So Theresa Bremen is speaking there, and she was speaking in Fanti. George, please do us the honors. Essentially, she said after the game, she was assaulted by someone.
Yes.
You know, the person hit her, and she also had a pen, which I assume she was using to jot her things down. Not the one.
The one, yeah. I mean, she confirms it. I think it's brutal. Just take it easy. Yeah, but I mean, you're making me laugh, but this is a serious matter, isn't it?
No, I love the color.
Yeah, the color. The Fanti is great.
Yeah, the Fanti is great. Anyway,
it takes you back to
another person who was there is Akosua Frimpong. She was the venue media officer. Every match venue in Ghana has a venue media officer, and she also gives us this account.
Yesterday, as the game was going on, like always, you see some supporters saying all sorts of things. So it was like threats from some of the supporters to the referee. So at a point in time, she decided not to continue officiating the game, somewhere second half. But some of the officers in uniform were able to calm her down. Then she went back to the field to continue the match. So after the final whistle came, someone attacked her from behind. Where I was far from where the person came from. I was with the match commissioner where the technical teams were, and the person came from the other end of the field. So the person attacked her from behind, like slapped her from behind. So some officers went there to separate them and stuff. So there was an attack from an unknown person who we've heard is an officer, but was not in uniform.
So where is she now? What's her condition?
She went back to Takoradi yesterday, but officially she lodged a complaint at the Sunyani police against that person.
So Akosua Frimpong was the venue media officer. I trust that we've covered the issue. If you just joined us on the Joy Sports track, we are looking at the incident of an assault on a ref who you heard two voices ago. Her name is Theresa Bremen, so a very experienced match official and one of the respected referees we have in Ghana, male or female. Now, the Normalization Committee issued a statement. If you did not get it, read the relevant portions. It says that they express their commiserations to the ref and will state that the NC does not condone any abuse, verbal or physical, toward match officials. And they say, very interestingly, George, they say, albeit the special competition has not recorded any such appalling attacks, last weekend's incident is of great bother. That's what they say. And the statement is quite accurate, but it's not accurate. Yes, we may not have seen a physical attack, but like Jerome said, we've been getting signposts from W.O. Tando who says that if anybody refs a game like that again, it will be suicidal. Kotoko officials in the Mediama game, yes, they said they'll shoot a ref who does that again. If it comes to Kumasi, they will shoot the person. So we may not have had.
So factually, they might say,
yes,
we don't have, or we haven't seen a physical assault there.
Assault like
but
this.
There are more writings on the wall.
Yeah, more writings on the wall like this. And the statement also says that Dr. Kofi Amoah's caution at the launch of the special competition that improvements in the GFA statutes and regulations, as much as they are necessary, will not in and by themselves absolve our football from illegalities, corruption and uncivilized behaviors. And it says that part of our nation's ability to engender transformation in our football doesn't have to do with regulation. It has to do with shaping attitudes, shaping cultures, increasing awareness and embracing our common humanity. So, yeah, that's what's happened. And we draw a line under this topic for now. Like we've heard from Mr. Vitalis Ayer, the prisons service will be following this matter. We've also heard from Akosua Frimpong that the matter was reported at the Sunyani police, and so we'll be following up on that as well. Benedict?
I think, three key things. One is got to do with the statement released by the Normalization Committee. Yeah. I share Jerome's sentiment. That statement should have, come
last week,
because after that, W. Tando's, rant after their defeat to Asante Kotoko, they should have said something. But notwithstanding, it's good.
Better late than never.
Of course, it's good that they brought the statement out. Also, I think that I like the bit about the public relations officer, the prisons officer we just spoke to.
Yeah.
Now we know that if found culpable, they could be in prison.
Three things.
Yes.
He said.
He talked about they could be in prison or dismissed. And dismissed as well, which is very good. I mean, it will serve as a deterrent to probably anybody who some time to come, we'll think of doing something.
Very
like that.
interesting.
So
Almost 24 hours. He says he only saw the story on My Joy Online.
Yeah.
Well,
he said he saw it on My Joy Online and then went to make the inquiry. So he wasn't even told officially about it.
Yeah. So
but we're not too familiar with the process.
Well, it happened in Sunyani and he's here in Accra.
Yeah, that's what he said.
We're not familiar with the processes in the prisons.
So I just hope and pray that they will do something about it.
Hopefully it's not
it wouldn't just be about talk and not do anything about it, because it's very serious. I mean, the way the lady was beaten, and there's one thing too. I mean, why do you trick someone with a pen? I mean, if you're a referee, you understand, because
no, she was assaulted.
No, of course, wait, you are assaulted, but at times it will be based on your action as well. You understand?
Yeah.
If you go, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. No, I'm not saying what they did was good. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that yes, you were assaulted. Why do you have to do that?
Well, I think
okay. Well, next time you go and you do that, and
no. I mean,
I agree. I think this. There are two legs.
You saw the pictures we saw.
Yes, I agree. I mean,
it was full of men.
Yeah, but there are two legs.
But how do you know? How do you know if the assault was before she took the guy?
No, but
how do you know?
Okay,
you don't know that.
That's true.
So I'm just.
It could be that. Okay, they were coming. The guy came. He held there chum with a pen, and then he also decided to speed up.
I just think that there are whatever happens, there are two legs to this discussion.
Yeah.
The first leg is to talk about the fans, their behavior, what we must do to prevent them. The next leg, soon, maybe tomorrow or 2 days after, will be what the referees are also doing wrong.
Because we can't tell that she took the guy before.
Well, WhatsApp comments coming in. We didn't announce the line, but thank you for sending us your comments. 0244 340437, 0244 340437. If you've got a reaction, this is from you didn't send your name, sir, but he says, Jerome, please, in Takwa, the Kotoko fans reacted by threatening to shoot the ref if he dared come to officiate in Kumasi. I think we've said that already. And this is from, looks like the United Arab Emirates plus 97. Anyway, so Benedict, we've talked about the women's competition at length. But in fact, what is happening with the football itself? So that was the first leg.
And interestingly, the women's competition is ending this coming Sunday.
Yes.
The finals will be played.
So this was the first leg where this happened. The second leg will be on Wednesday.
Exactly.
Okay. And maybe we can... Okay. Benedict, go ahead.
So the women's special competition will end this coming Sunday at the Owak Stadium, the final. So, of course, we'll see how that will go. But we also have to talk about the men's competition. That's the special competition for the Premier. That's the Tier 1 and the Tier 2. But specifically, we're going to focus on the Tier 1, where we have the 16 Premier League clubs grouped into two. That's Premier A, Zone A, and Premier B. That's also Zone B. And matches that are played over the weekend. 11 Wonders played host to Asante Kotoko, and was very important for Kotoko to get that win after losing to Mediama SC in Takwa. So Kotoko won that game by 3 goals to 0. Abdul Fatau with a brace for Kotoko, and then Evans Owusu scored the other goal. And Karela United, Accra Hartlefolk, really, I don't know what's happening to Accra Hartlefolk, losing back-to-back. Kim Grant.
Kim Grant. Yeah, Kim spoke. He said he's not going to change his philosophy despite the back-to-back losses because he feels that they are creating chances but not scoring, and they are getting used to the system.
Right, so
we'll see how it goes.
And the Indiana Stars game against Ashanti Gold ended goalless. Dreams FC today actually. They are celebrating their 10th anniversary. Yeah, they won their game at the Wu Park against the Buson. That was very good. Abdul Razak Cromwell scored that goal. And Liberty Professionals beat the Interlies 2-1. I was at the Dansuman Karindov Park. And the major concern, football is back. Domestic football is back in the country. But still, spectating is a major problem. Spectating a major problem. And Omina Sharks, the game against Wafa, ended goalless at the Omina Stadium. And then we had Bekum Chelsea, Bichim United, Bichim going away to win that game by a goal to 0. So probably maybe if you don't have an idea of how the standings look like, Asante Kotoko having won 2 out of the 3 games they've played, they are leading Premier A with 6 points, and Ashanti Gold are second with 5 points. Bichim United, they are third with 4 points. Indiana Stars are fourth with 4 points. And Mediama SC, they've played just a game so far in the competition. They have 3 points. Bekum Chelsea also have played just a game. They have no points. And we have 11 Wonders. They played 3 matches. They have no points. And Wow Stars, they are yet to kick. They are yet to play in the competition. So when you check the Premier B, where we have Accra Hartlefolk, Karela United are leading having played 3 matches, they've won 1 and drawn 1, so they have 7 points. And Liberty also back-to-back wins, defeated Ebuson Dwarfs last midweek by 4-0, and then just yesterday added another one, 2-1 to Interallies. So they are second there with 6 points, and you have Wafa, they are third, they've won 1 and they have drawn 2, and they are third with 5 points. We also have Elmina Sharks fourth with 5 points, and then Dreams FC, they are fourth. Hearts of Folk sixth with 3 points. Hearts of Folk, they've played 3 matches, they've won 1 and they have lost 2. Ebuson Dwarfs languishing bottom there, that's the 8th position with no point. But before Ebuson Dwarfs is Interallies, they are 7th with 2 points.
Fantastic, Benedict. And we'll go back quickly to the women's issue because Matilda Jimedo is somebody who watches it and she can put a final spin, if you like, or add some weight to everything that we've discussed. So, Matilda, thank you very much. We appreciate your time on Joy FM.
Thank you very much, Gary.
So, I don't know if you've been listening to the show, but we spoke to the prison service PRO. We heard from Ikuya Frimpoma, Theresa Bremen Sue, and several reactions as well. How common is this occurrence we know that in the men's football, I mean, we've seen quite a couple, but in the women's game, which you follow quite keenly, is this common assault on refs?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Gary. And a very good afternoon to all your listeners this afternoon. With what I have witnessed over the years following women football, this type of assaults have not been so common. I can't remember last season we had one in Wa, and then this season, or in this special competition, is also happening for the first time in Sunyane, which is the Army Park, where Theresa Berryman-Sue was assaulted. For me, I've not been saying that. We've had situations where referees would officiate games and officials would complain, like the referee wasn't fair, the referee didn't take some decisions in our favor, and etc. But for anybody to charge on the referee and do exactly what they did to Theresa Berryman-Sue, I think this is the second time that the women game is witnessing this.
Nice one. So, I mean, going forward, we've looked at certain things like the security at the grounds and so on. What would you say should be the first thing the normalization committee what should they do?
You know, when it comes to the service teams, when you go for their pre-matches and also if there is any game, the teams themselves offer to provide their own security men, which to me I think is a major aspect that the normalization committee must have a look at. Because you go to play against immigration or police ladies and they will tell you because we are security team, then our own people would have to come and take charge of security at the game venue. So this is something that they have to look at. Whether you are police ladies, whether you are immigration, whether you are prisons, whether you are army, I think the right thing should be done. Like in the men's game, you bring police personnel. So you don't have to tell us that because you are immigration, you bring immigration people on the ground. The reason why I'm saying this is that it's their team. And so when they come and something happens, definitely they'll go for their own.
They are likely to be biased.
Yeah, of course. They'll go to protect their own. Just like what happened in Sunyani on Sunday, where the prisons officers were just around. They saw whatever was happening. If you speak to Theresa, she will tell you she called them that this man have assaulted me, this man have slapped me, arrest him, and nobody even moved an inch. And so for me, I think the normalization committee must put a system in place whereby when the security teams are playing, they don't have to offer security at the venue on the same day. It should be a different body altogether handling this. And again, when it comes to the match venues, one thing that I would also want the normalization committee to take a look at is the fact that most of these games are played on a grassless pitch, others without inner perimeters and all those things. So it's easy for anybody to go and attack any official, not just the referee, but even away team or home team. So they should take a look at all these things. At least there should be an inner perimeter before a venue is sanctioned for any of the women's game. If these two things are taken into control, I think that everything will come down a little bit, and then we will have a very fine women football in this country.
Excellent. Many thanks. No regret in calling you. You've given us proper perspective. Matilda Jimedo, we appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Gary.
Right, so we can finally draw a line under that discussion because we are going to the next thing. Well, it's the small matter of Europe's biggest competition, and of course, it's live on Joy FM.
8 teams, one dream to lift this trophy in Madrid. Non-stop action in the last round, more to come with the many millions of fans around the world already anticipating some colossal clashes in the quarter-final.
Wonderful header, and that bounce is in, and Virgil van Dijk gets the goal for Liverpool.
A big step for us. We really are back on the landscape of international top football.
Can he keep his cool? It's Alex Telles with the goal that puts one foot into the quarter-final.
Now Messi, pocket his face. Oh, he most certainly can, and he scores. And Barcelona's captain steps up yet again.
We knew that we had to win.
And it's Marcus Rashford who's placed the ball in the penalty spots. Right-footed into the net, and Manchester United have the goal.
On a glorious night in the Champions League.
It is the goal that qualifies them to the next stage of the competition.
We always believed. That's the thing.
Way through now to Harry Kane, who's in. What a chance for Harry Kane! Oh, he's taken it! Super finish! It's going to be the goal to take Tottenham through to the quarter-finals.
I told you, we have the belief, and we show that all is possible in football if you have the belief.
Oh, Sterling now puts in the challenge. There's no flag. Sterling kicks it on. Sterling slips it past goalkeeper Fairman, and it's 3-2 to Manchester City.
We're going to try.
And the ball is in with Ajax. It's Tadic with the ball turns beautifully. Wonderful shot there.
Ajax have their boots on the throats of the champions.
Tadic with a beauty.
It's a great moment. I think it's a really special night for all Ajax.
It's Ronaldo against Oblak.
Set it in, right-footed, down the left-hand side of goalkeeper Wanda Black.
It's the record-equaling Champions League 8 hat-trick of Cristiano Ronaldo's career.
And definitely pushes Juventus through to the next stage of the competition.
Fantastic night. We play like a Champions League team.
Sometimes a montage is all you need, and that is what we've given you. George is here. Quick signpost for tomorrow and Wednesday?
Yeah, we've got 4 games to bring you. Tomorrow we'll be doing the Spurs Manchester City game. On the side will be Liverpool versus Porto.
Yep.
And then on Wednesday we've got Manchester United versus Barcelona. On the side will be Ajax versus Juventus. Simple equation of how 8
Time?
to become 4. Our build-up is at 6:45. As
clock,
always.
the clocks have changed. So.
Yes, the clocks have changed. So yeah, you have to keep it up. And most of you are going to be with us in traffic for sure. 6:45 and commentary begins at 7 p.m. We're taking you all the way. And as we do it, highly interactive, crystal clear commentary, of course. And I hope that you can focus on driving. It's going to be really tight these times with all of them. Mama V supporting Manchester United and all. Really interesting.
Mama V,
do you believe?
Yes, man, I believe.
Do you believe?
I do.
Against this Messi, you believe?
Anyway, Mama will be bringing us the news, but from all of us here at the Joy Sports team, I'm Gary Al Smith, and this has been today's presentation. We are back next week with more. Bye-bye.